Hi. I have been reading from C.S. Lewis's book, The Four Loves, and we're in a new chapter called EROS. We have dealt with the Greek words for love, the first one being storge, affection, the second one, phileo, friendship, this third one, eros, romantic love, and agape, the last one, charity. In this one, eros is one of the most popular themes that you will find in stories and also in songs. And yet it is not mentioned in the New Testament even once. So this is the love, eros, romantic love, that Lewis is talking about here. So he starts by making a distinction between the sex act and romantic love. Sexual desire without eros wants it, the thing in itself. Eros wants the beloved. The thing is a sensory pleasure, that is, an event occurring within one's own body. We use a most unfortunate idiom when we say of a lustful man prowling the streets that he wants a woman. Strictly speaking, a woman is just what he does not want. He wants a pleasure for which a woman happens to be the necessary piece of apparatus. Now, eros makes a man really want not a woman, but one particular woman. In some mysterious but quite indisputable fashion, the lover desires the beloved herself, not the pleasure she can give. No lover in the world ever sought the embraces of the woman he loved as a result of a calculation, however unconscious, that they would be more pleasurable than those of any other woman. For one of the first things that eros does is to obliterate the distinction between giving and receiving. It has been widely held in the past, and is perhaps held by many unsophisticated people today, that the spiritual danger of eros arises almost entirely from the carnal element within it. That eros is noblest or purest when Venus is reduced to the minimum. He uses the word Venus here throughout this chapter as the word for the carnal element within eros. He says, the older moral theologians certainly seem to have thought that the danger we chiefly had to guard against in marriage was that of a soul-destroying surrender to the senses. It will be noticed, however, that this is not the scriptural approach. St. Paul, dissuading his converts from marriage, says nothing about that side of the matter, except to discourage prolonged absence from Venus within marriage. What he fears is preoccupation, the need of constantly pleasing, that is, considering one's partner, the multiple distractions of domesticity. It is marriage itself, not the marriage bed, that will be likely to hinder us from waiting uninterruptedly on God. So I thought this was an interesting point, in that I do recall reading biographies from the same period of time as Charles Taze Russell's time, where there was this current of thinking that somehow you were spiritually superior if you abstained from sex, even within marriage. So it wasn't just the witnesses, but this was in the witnesses' heads as well. But it was a lot of people who somehow thought that this would put you on a higher spiritual plane, a higher moral level. But this is not the way Paul describes the reasons behind marriage or not marriage, singleness. And after talking about not withholding Venus from each other in a marriage, he talks about why he's recommending singleness over marriage in the verses 32 to 35 of 1 Corinthians 7. So I thought we would read that. Paul says, I would like you to be free from concern. An unmarried man is concerned about the Lord's affairs, how he can please the Lord. But a married man is concerned about the affairs of this world, how he can please his wife. And his interests are divided. An unmarried woman or virgin is concerned about the Lord's affairs. Her aim is to be devoted to the Lord in both body and spirit. But a married woman is concerned about the affairs of the world, how she can please her husband. I am saying this for your own good, not to restrict you, but that you may live in a right way, in undivided devotion to the Lord. He wasn't forbidding marriage, but he was showing you the advantages of not being married when it came to your spiritual life. Too often, really, what distracts us from our spiritual needs, from discipling, from feeding, is ourselves. We let life get in the way. So that could happen to a single person as well. But when you're married, you have more than just yourself to consider. You're considering your family, you're considering your children and your mate. So this can be a distraction from your spiritual needs. I'm going to link to two videos. One David did called Asceticism Called the World Evil and Left It, Denying Family, Natural Affection, and Normal Community. And the second one is one that was based on C.S. Lewis's books, The Screwtape Letters, where he says, what I called it was the devil's strategy. Convince us that sex, romance, passion, being in love are essential to marriage.